Your feet pretty quick. I wasn't sure if you were already up before he said that.
Well, I've been doing my
I take
squats,
it you
Mr.
would like
Speaker.
your 20 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, as we all know in this chamber and across the island, that on May 22nd, there will be a very special day for Constitution number 10, but also a very special day for the country. Now, I'm not one of those people who gives endorsements lightly or frivolously, but I have had the pleasure of getting to know young Miss Lindsay Simmons, no relation, for the past 6, 7 years. And I'll tell you, the resume is impressive. The resume is impressive. I've heard many people say, we need more people with business backgrounds who understand how the economy works in Parliament. Well, she has a business background. If that's what turns you on, she's got that. But, Mr. Speaker, what we very rarely heard said as a component of what should make a member of this honorable chamber is character, compassion, and humility. So with character, Lindsay's history, for those who know it, overcoming so much, yet remaining a positive force. Humility, you've seen the way she carries herself through our community. She's not about self, she's about her community. And these are the characteristics that we don't hear advocated as much as we hear about resume, despite her impressive resume. And I'm sure there'll be other colleagues who can delve into her history. But I want to speak about Lindsay Simmons, the person. So we need more MPs. And I would love to see this young lady sitting next to the House for a couple of reasons. Now, I'm going to start off the fact that she's never insulted Black civil servants. She's never insulted Black civil servants. Not in her character. She has never advocated for the further exploitation of workers by foreign workers by excluding them from minimum wages. A idea and a proposal that would drive down the cost of foreign workers and further devalue Bermudian workers. She's never advocated for that, unlike some people on the ballot. Mr. Speaker, when you talk about a young lady, I had the honor to stand with her next door at the polling station on Wednesday. She's there at the polling station in her by-election for C10. Somebody called her with a problem, not from C10. And in between greeting people, I watched her help this person and help resolve their problem. She's pulling aside other PLP MPs and ministers and saying, I need your help with this. That is deep. That is something that, I witnessed firsthand. And I said, that's impressive to me because it's very easy to say, that's not my constituent. That's not my problem. She didn't do that. And she wasn't doing it for the cameras. She doesn't even know I'm talking about it, but I witnessed this myself. That's something that we need more of in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, one of the things we have to do is look at humility, because there are too many people who will say, that's not my job, or that job is beneath me. When she first started canvassing out of C10 back in September, long before we ever knew that there would be a by-election, she discovered a problem. And when you talk about no job, too big or small for your constituents, she went out and collected trash for people on a road who could not get it dealt with themselves. And she has done it every week since then with no guarantee or hope of reward. And I've talked to her and she's going to keep doing it regardless of the outcome on the by-election. No job too big or small for her people. Not a person who views that type of work as beneath her. We need more people like that in this chamber, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I can go on and on about it. She has a list and a resume that's impressive. A list of character and life experiences that would be a tremendous asset to this chamber and to our country. And I will say this. We could always do with a few more women in this chamber, and the perspective of a woman, and the perspective of a mother, and a perspective of somebody who has advocated against domestic abuse. We could do with more of that in this chamber, Mr. Speaker. But the humility and character of this individual, Ms. Lindsay Simmons, is one that this chamber could do with a lot more of. Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to speak much longer, but as I said, I'm not a person who gets behind people frivolously. I've had the pleasure of having two people that I found worthy to fill in for me or replace me when I shuffle off this mortal coil or retire, but they went off and got seats elsewhere. Two of them. And it is my deepest and most sincere hope that Miss Lindsay Simmons is the third. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, MP Simmons.